All right, here we go. Alexis has 5 different spells. Starts with Foolish Burial. And in addition to that Foolish Burial, he's got both mass removals, Regeki Darkhole, 1 for 1 and Soul Charge, but no monsters. Quick Fix headed to the yard. Soul Charge for 1.
Not the strongest Soul Charge, but
gets his Quick Fix. He's going to get,
I believe, Master Plan, right? Or not?
Gets a gear.
Gear,
so he has to get Drone.
Yeah, drone.
And Gomez, it looks like he's got Psy-Frame Gear Gamma. Probably looking for the best time to spring that.
I meant to say drone.
Your Winamax number 4 is starting without you. Austin Capoletta, your Winamax is starting without you.
And he summons drone. Uses effect.
And it'll let him take a look at Eduardo's.
Oh, Max C was his. So it's Max C evenly. Was it even? No, it was one of the Dark Lord spells or traps. Either Enchantment or Rebellion.
And he goes for a Spyral Double Helix.
Yeah.
And I would not be shocked to see that
now he gets Master Plan.
Get hit by Psy-Frame Gear Gamma. And it does. And what do you do if you're a Spyral player and you take a look at the top of their deck and it's Dark Lords? I note that Alexis didn't even stop to really read what the cards did.
Did he give him Maxi as a top card? It might have been just better. Oh, yeah, it might have been just better to give him.
He didn't. He sneakily rearranged it, and he gave him a card. And we'll see if Eduardo probes for Ash Blossom. No, he goes straight at it. Discards
Eggshell. Yep. Draws a Gamma and Dark Lord. So it activates the lore.
Gets Duality, another banishment. And banishes what appears to be a second Ix-Shell.
Oh, he drew a Desires.
I kind of like what Eduardo did with his draw cards. He actually just runs 2 of all of them.
Oh, he only plays 2 Desires.
So 2
I feel like that's a card you would want
to allure.
Because Ash Blossom is such a powerful card against Desires already, but it's even more powerful against Ix-Shell.
Yeah.
So you might just want that Desires to bait out the potential Ash Blossom, which is like a 3 of in everybody's deck currently.
And he goes for Contact, which gives him Superbia and Ix-Shell, and then Ix-Shell pays 1,000 life points to copy.
Is that Rebellion?
Yeah, copied.
He copied Banishment.
Copied Banishment to search for enchantment, actually. Looks like he wants to steal.
Okay.
And that's Ix-Shell's trap. The one tricky thing is, in situations like this, because Contact puts the monsters in defense, it's kind of hard to get in damage when you have these open fields. So I'm interested to see how Eduardo actually tries to close duels out. He's doing very well so far. He's 4-1. Other decks that we haven't seen for a while that are at the top tables. Dinosaurs, also 5-0. Or Dinosaurs at 5-0. All right. There we go. Now he's going to discard 2 to summon Dark Lord Nastin.
Effect, pay 1,000 life points. Copy Contact. Yes.
He's going to put it back in the deck. Or to special Zerato.
Yeah, that gives him 2 level 8 monsters.
Let's look at his extra deck to see. The only link he plays is Proxy Dragon.
I don't know that he is aiming to use more than 1 extra deck monster. I think he might be happy just with Hope Harbinger. See summons.
Weirdly enough, if he makes Felgrand, it completely counters the two
all of them? Both of them?
board wipes, because he'll just make it unaffected by himself. So Darkhorn Regeki. But if he makes Harbinger, then one would get baited. But I think
he's going to lose.
He might make Zombie Stein. Because it stops Quick Fix. It negates a monster's effect on the field.
Oh, let's take a look at Zombie Stein, because that's one of those... It's a number monster, right? 22?
Number... Yep, so you target one, and then it's changed to defense.
Negates any card.
Yep.
It's 4,500 attack points. He's going to get 45 and... Is that 25? Is that game?
71, right? Or 45. It's a 6,000 plus 500.
Oh, it's 45 now.
I think that might be game.
Yeah.
71.
It is. Oh, my goodness. Well, if you're looking to end games quickly and maybe have a backup, even if they go south, I think a 4,500 attack exceeds monster that can negate anything.
And we just saw the importance of hand traps this format. Like you saw Gamma just ended the game for him.
Gamma saved the game. Oh my goodness. I'm still reeling a little bit. Man. What did let's bring up Zombie Stein one more time, because I remember that was a manga promo card for the longest time. Oh, it was Raging Tempest Special Edition. That's when that came out worldwide. Very interesting.
Can you bring up Nastin real fast?
Yeah.
I think he attacked with Nastin and he made up gain like 500 for game.
Well, it's already 26.
Yeah. Oh, it's
26 and 45.
Oh, okay.
It's 1,000 from Soul Charge is what did Alexis say.
Oh, okay. It was the Soul Charge. Okay.
Wow. And the importance of Nastin is that this is a card that you can special summon from your hand.
And
Basically,
in
no
attack
questions
mode.
asked.
Yes,
in attack mode.
Interesting.
So I don't know that anybody came to this tournament saying, I wonder what I should side deck if I go up against Dark Lords. I just don't think that's a conversation.
So looking at Eduardo's side deck, we see that he has 2 Drone Lockbirds, which will obviously go in the matchup. He might put in Darkle for going second.
Yeah.
And I think that's about it. And then if we look at Alexis' side deck, he would more than likely end up putting in the Kaijus. He has the whole Slumber package, as well as along with 3 Kaijus. He also has 2 Ghost Ogres, which, it could hit a Superbia maybe.
Yeah, like all of them have to activate on the field.
So that could be something he could put in, evenly match when he goes second. But does this deck choose to go second, do you think?
I think it might.
Yeah.
Because you want to get more cards and you want to be able to attack.
Yeah. And he also plays a lot of hand traps.
Something that interests me is the Dark Lord Morningstar in Eduardo's side deck.
That is interesting.
I have no idea what the scenario is where you side in Dark Lord Morningstar.
We're also forgetting that he also plays Barrier Statue.
He does, Barrier Statue of the Abyss. So if you do have to go first, it's actually a normal summon, which you don't get a whole lot of in this deck.
I feel like it would have the best purpose in game 1 before evenly matches come in.
Yeah.
Because it is a little weak to evenly match, but you could just banish everything else and leave the Barrier Statue, and you still might just win the game because of it.
You probably don't even have a lot of cards on the field.
Yeah.
You maybe just have Barrier Statue.
So unless they have, maybe Spyral Agent or maybe Spyral Tough, they're not going to attack over it. Or Last Resort, I guess, too. Ooh, not the greatest hand from Eduardo. He opens up both Driver and Gamma, as well as, I think that's double Superbia.
That's a little rough, but I do think he can still at least play the Gamma. I think it can special summon from the hand, deck, or graveyard. Yeah. So at least it's not good, but he has access to the Gamma.
Does it have to special in order for you to negate as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's going to be a little rough for Eduardo.
Let's see what got. Alexis starts out with double Terraforming, Utility Wire, Spiral Tough, and DD Crow. Oh, DD Crow is pretty good here.
That is interesting, yes.
You have to be careful, though, because those are quick effects on those Dark Lords.
They also don't target.
Terraforming into Resort, into Spiral.
The drone might just actually end the game here, because his hand is already really weak with double Superbia.
I don't think he has any draw cards.
Yeah. And he doesn't have the gamma to shuffle either.
It's an interesting choice. I think you give him the level 8.
You're giving him... There's no way you give Desires. Unless he has Ash Blossom.
He does not. He has Crow.
What?
Unless he just did a very sneaky sleight of hand there. I think he put Pot of Desires on top of his deck.
Interesting pick from Alexis here.
I don't know. Drops 1 for another. Gets Super Agent. And we'll see soon enough what actually happened there.
He has Unending Nightmare. Was that it?
He does call Spell.
We'll see.
It is the Desires.
He put the Desires on top. That's very interesting.
I do not understand that. He goes for double Helix, and it's probably going to get Gamut again.
Do you even Gamma here? I don't think so. Because
No?
you can't negate it. Because he won't special summon the driver.
He could special summon
from
his
hand, yeah.
And, oh, he didn't activate the effect. He is ending his turn and putting Super Agent back into his deck.
This is an interesting line of play from Alexis.
Well, I think Alexis has figured out maybe I need to bait out a Gamma first or wait until he has a monster on the field. So that I can get.
The Desires might just actually put Eduardo back in this game.
Yeah, the Desires on top of the deck I don't understand at all.
Maybe, I think it's just that he was unfamiliar with the cards of Dark Lords and that he saw that, was it Contact, and Zerato was part of the OTK that he had last game, so maybe he was just worried about that.
In fact, what it actually does is draw a ton of cards.
Yeah.
Using draw 2 spells like Trade-In, which he just picked up.
And now he puts a Superbia in the grave. So now it makes Dark Lord Contact a really good draw.
Ooh.
So, and he draws, I think that's Contact and Ukobek?
Oh,
I
that's what
believe.
we were talking about,
Yep.
the Duelist Saga card. So Ukobek could send another Dark Lord to the graveyard so that Superbia has something to revive with Contact. He normal summons Ukobek.
I think that's exactly what he's going to go for.
Let's bring him up. And he sends a friend for Dark Lord Superbia.
Did he have Utility Wire set for Alexis?
Oh, I believe he does.
Okay.
Activate the special? Something, right?
Does that one target or
Doesn't target.
Doesn't target. And so the Crow is there, and it has to take Superbia. Ooh, it does not take Superbia. It takes a monster that I don't immediately recognize, but it's probably Tezcatlipoca.
I believe it is Tezcatlipoca.
That's the one that you don't see.
He only plays one copy of it, though.
Yeah.
Would you have hit that or the Superbia? I feel like that is probably the right play. Because even if he brings back Superbia, he can't copy it. But then if he brings back Tezcatlipoca,
Yeah, Tezcatlipoca can copy.
yeah, it can copy for later on in case it doesn't die this following turn.
So Utility Wire puts the trap card back on top of the deck.
Mm-hmm.
And now that there are monsters on the field, he's safe from Gamma. However, Eduardo's drawn into Ash Blossom at this point.
Which would have been great to have against the Desires the turn before.
Yes.
I'll see how Alexis navigates this turn.
It only targets face-ups.
And he has made an illegal move, targeting a face-down card with Utility Wire.
Oh, he put back the trap. I didn't
Yeah.
even...
unfortunately, this is something you can easily fix. It was not revealed. It was just the top card. And now Superbia goes instead.
That still might be good enough to win Alexis the game.
Choose a target and stuff. We go back to end phase.
It's an illegal target.
Yeah, so the thing is here, like, you can't really repair that particular one because Alexis got to see the next card of the deck before deciding which card. Now, I don't think it made a difference in this case, but you can't always tell.
Even if Alexis could return the trap, wouldn't have he wanted to target something he would have known?
I think we also had another thing just happen here. He, so Spyral Tough targets.
Yep.
However, he called first
Take control of the monster.
and then waited to see what the card was before deciding what to destroy. So technically, none of this should be happening at the moment, but when it comes to a bunch of cards that you don't really see a whole lot of, it's easy to forget how things work. So he's going to take
It's still the end phase, right?
Double Helix. Let's take a look at Darklord Enchantment. It's quite a good card.
It's only until the end phase, though.
Yes. Now, here's another story. Darklord Enchantment, in its original form, took the monster for 2 turns and could take face downs as well.
Wow, that is actually incredible.
It was till your opponent's end phase of the turn after it was played.
Doesn't Eduardo have Ash Blossom?
Yes.
I feel like he should have Ash Blossom the Spyral Resort there. I know that we have knowledge of both hands, but if the card that Alexis has in hand is not a monster, then that guarantees Eduardo at least another turn. But now it gives him, because even if he Ash Blossoms the quick fix here, he can still combo off with Double Helix, unless he wants to hit the Double Helix. That's what
could
his
be it.
plan is.
End phase?
Sure.
Instead, he does nothing, puts DD Crow back, and then gives him the
The
Helix.
correct play, I feel like, should have been him getting Resort, or when he resorted, he should have got Super Agent.
Super Agent.
And then revealed Super Agent, and then he can combo off that way. Obviously, he still would have been hit with the Ash Blossom. But then he doesn't even bait out the Ash Blossom this way, so interesting line of play from Alexis.
So he's still got the Gamma,
Yeah,
and he has Ash Blossom.
this should just be game. Oh, actually, he has the Gamma.
Gamma blocks.
Yeah.
Blocks 2 attacks.
And he has to deal with the Ash Blossom as well still.
Ooh, this is interesting. I think Alexis put Double Helix where it can't summon.
No, they point left and downwards.
Is it left?
Yeah. I
Not right?
believe. Or is it right?
Oh, no, it is left. Okay.
Yeah, it's
I
left
thought-
and downward, I believe, yeah.
I thought it was right and down, but I could be thinking of a different Link 2 monster. I may have been playing a little too much Altergeist lately.
Okay, so he searches Big Red with Quick Fix.
Activates Big Red. What does he have in the graveyard? Drone? Yes.
This also still might just win him the game because of just how bad Eduardo's hand is.
Yeah, I think he's deciding whether or not he wants to Gamma the drone.
I believe that's the correct play. He has to take that risk. He needs a good draw, like maybe an Ixchel, Allure of Darkness.
He's got to get the Superbias out
Yeah.
somehow. Nastin might even be fine because you could discard them both and then copy something.
Yeah, I believe he has a Banishment in the grave. Or no, it was Contact.
It's Contact.
It's Contact, yes.
But, you know, discard Superbias. You could get Superbia into Ukbak. Ukbak could send something else. Helix has both evenly matched and Spyral Super Agent.
I'm gonna call it first, but I'm gonna start with. So what was it?
Is that X? Oh, X-Shell.
It is X-Shell, so very good call.
Attention players.
And then
There
Helix
are
gets
there's
ashed.
one spot left in the final Yu-Gi-Oh! Day flight of the day. There are also 2 spots remaining in Battle Pack flight
Spyral
number
Super
2,
Agent hits the field.
and
It's still a
4 spots
monster. It's
left
still
in
X-Shell.
ES flight number 2 as well. Once those have been filled, those spots, those events will start.
Let's take a look at Psyframe Driver.
He chooses to make Baguska instead.
Psyframe Driver, 0 defense. It's not the worst having double Helix and Baguska. Double Helix can't go to defense. It's a Link monster.
I think he should have attacked still before making the Baguska.
Yes. The end of turn, it is.
And then now he has to put back drone.
Has to. In extremely big air quotes.
Draw for turn.
So we know it's the X-Shell, so
Cards in hand.
1 card, it is evenly matched.
he needs to just get 1 Dark Lord on the field in order to start cycling around with the contact.
Is that reasoning? It is reasoning.
Not as good, considering it's game 2.
Well, they're all different levels, though. They're not all the same level.
Attention players, if you signed up for WinMat flight number 5, please make your way to the public event stage.
But like my point being is that you would probably expect the most popular deck is Infernoids that would play Reasoning, so you would call 1 there. But then here he might just call anyone in levels now.
You lose every time if you call 1 against this deck.
Mm-hmm.
How level 8?
I think, yeah, you do call 8. That is the number there are the most of. Well, that's a really good draw, though. Can't be normal summon, so you skip Gamma.
Oh,
Radian, however.
that's 7 or 8?
Radian is 7.
Okay.
Radian's pretty hefty on defense, too, if I'm not mistaken.
Unfortunate for Eduardo, though.
2,500. Well, its effect would have been negated anyways, so it's not the biggest loss in the universe.
He draws Last Resort. And he also has Spiral Resort to search.
First, he has to detach for Baguska.
How many cards?
2 cards in hand. Radian too big for double Helix to take down on its own. We'll have to make some kind of play here. Helix can use its effect.
What he should do is probably start with Resort, either searching Drone. Yeah.
Here's Drone. But I don't think he can play it successfully,
Yeah.
unless he switches Baguska. Last time we saw somebody switch Baguska to attack mode, it did not end very well.
You can also link summon it away.
And summon it away. I feel like you might want to be able to get the extra material off of the drone. In that case, get something a little bigger.
Because he does have Super Agent still. Or does he? What is this in? Evenly matched?
Drone, last resort,
Attention
evenly
players,
matched.
if you
Yeah.
signed up for WinMat flight number 5, please make your way over to the judge holding up the clipboard. Again, if you signed
believe he called monster. It's incorrect. There's a spell.
Your event is about to start.
I feel like if you link summon the Baguska and the Quick Fix, then you can normal summon drone, call it right, or stack the top 3, and then you can call it right with double helix. Double helix would then bring out master plan. Master plan searches, and then you could continue on your combo that way.
I like that. That sounds good. This could be one of those cases of paralysis by analysis, though, where he's just trying to figure out what this deck that he hasn't seen in a year does. And he might just be missing some of the more obvious plays because he's spending so much time trying to figure out what his opponent's up to.
Yeah, so that way Alexis also could have ended with Sleeper and Last Resort.
I think if he gets Sleeper Last Resort, it's just over no matter what. I don't know what Dark Lord really... I mean, I guess Dark Lord has to steal it with enchantment. That's the out. Salgrid's Ishel and Zerato gets 2 more cards. And he gets another Superbia.
Okay, but he draws a Lord of
Lord.
Darkness.
He's got to get to a contact somewhere.
Is that Pot of Desires
He doesn't.
live?
He's played one this duel already, has he not?
Yeah, no, I don't think it is.
Doesn't have enough cards left. Sets 2.
How many cards are in the deck?
We'll take a look at the deck. There are about 5 cards left.
So it detaches for Baguska. Summoning the drone should be good enough.
You got to be careful, though, because Baguska's effects are still active. You don't want to accidentally negate your own card.
I think he should link summon away the Quick Fix. The Quick Fix will also just go to the graveyard, too.
Yeah, and he can get it back with...
Because of the Spyral double helix.
Right. It's just kind of a high-stress situation, though.
When he switches it to attack mode.
Okay. That's a good start. Drone's next. It should resolve successfully this time. Here's some 3 cards to take a look at. It's like Monster, Regeki. Well, I'm pretty sure I know what's not going on top of this deck. Well, that's what I said last time.
I was about to say, we've said that a couple times before already.
I mean, I can't be wrong about everything every time. So
okay, so he searches Super Agent.
Let's go monster.
calls Monster. Hits Ash Blossom. Destroys the background. Some of the Desires.
One card in hand.
It's unfortunate that Eduardo had to set the maxi to in fear of being gamed on this turn. But if he did activate maxi, there was a good chance that he would decked out as well. So,
I mean, this is already 2 special summons.
Yep.
And there's at least... There's enough. If he can just make a chain of horizontally pointing link monsters, he would be able to...
Yeah, not much that Eduardo could have done that game.
And it's smart to not even wait for the rest of it, because who knows how much time's left in the round at this point. Can't see the clock from where we are anyway.
So Eduardo's going back in his side deck. He's probably going to put in the Drolls. I think that's about it.
Yeah, assuming you didn't have the Drolls already. I don't know what else you're going to put in. You don't really need more Kaijus. You already had at least 1.
Yeah. And then we can see from Alexis, he's obviously going to probably put in the Kaiju package, Ghost Ogre, evenly matched.
I wonder if maybe he'd put in the dimensional barriers to try to stop Baguska, because Baguska's been giving him a hard time. I don't know. I don't think I'd do it, though.
I feel like I'd rather have like a...
I'd rather have Twin Twisters, even.
Twin Twisters, or, you know, a Kaiju. Because a Kaiju can also just tribute over a Sleeper, potentially, so...
I would definitely
Eduardo probably feels pretty confident in this matchup, as he only size 2 and Joel Longwords, it seems, for it, so...
a little bizarre.
So Eduardo chooses to go first.
That's one of the things with this deck, though, is that going first, it's not the greatest. I think you generally just try to draw a lot of cards and end on rank 8 plus hand traps.
And it looks like you're right. He actually did put in the 2 copies of Twin Twister.
Yeah.
It's also good against Resort. Doesn't look like Eduardo's hand is that great.
He's got Banishment, does he not? Banishment always
Was that
helps.
Banishment or Contact?
The yellowish one is Banishment.
Okay. Yeah, so he can Banishment then Allure. If that card was Allure.
And he's got Maxi.
Yeah, so Maxi will obviously keep him in the game for at least another turn.
Not the greatest in the world, but he does have Banishment. No interaction on the first turn from Alexis' side.
Unfortunate for Alexis. But his hand is really good still, though. He has double field spells, Super Agent Drone, and Tough. So he activates the Lord to draw 2, drawing Darklord Zerato.
And one of the traps. So that's good. He can get rid of Zerato and then go into Ischel next.
Mm-hmm.
So things are coming together a little bit, piece by piece.
I guess he's going to hope to draw Contact.
Oh, he gets
Ooh.
trade in.
Isn't the worst, though. He does have a draw off Maxi and return, so...
And he sets both Twin Twisters, which I like in the case of double field spell.
Would you set both there, though?
How many cards are left in his hand?
Because you know that, yeah, 3 cards. So even if you're saying for the double field spell, he has to waste 2 cards in hand, leaving him with 1.
That's
And
true.
ideally, it would be the trade-in or Maxi.
That is true.
I'm not quite sure.
Oh, no, he's got Ash Blossom,
Yeah,
too, so he doesn't need to do
so
that.
maybe just setting one of the field spells would have been, one of the Twin Twisters. Oh, he's actually discarding trade-in.
Well, that's interesting, because he played the hard-drawn Spyral Resort first.
Mm-hmm.
Ash Blossom can just answer the terraforming without leaving the resort on field, but he does not go for that.
Interesting.
Attention players, if you sign up for speed board number 14,
Well, Eduardo has a lot of good draws. Like, he can draw Banishment, he can draw Contact, so... Maybe that's why he felt that he didn't need to trade in. Because he's already got an established graveyard, so...
He's got Super Agent in hand, so what's he going to Ash here? The quick fix?
And it's been a lot of situations where it just seems like drone was enough for Eduardo to potentially lose the game.
Drone is just incredibly powerful. Ukobak, Ischel, Superbia. He's probably going to get level 8, which he now doesn't have trade-in for.
You probably put Superbia as the first. Yep, that was the right order. Ukobak, second. Actually, it might have been even better for Ukobak to have been third. Because we see that he has no cards in hand. So, but he doesn't know what the cards in hand are.
Goes Max C. We'll see how
Yeah.
many draws he gets off of it.
Deal and draw.
See, this is where Alexis feels a little pressure that he might have to continue and just go with the double Helix Master Plan Surge. But then we know that if Alexis just stops, Eduardo's turn is also just completely dead next turn.
If he special summons one more time, though, he gets to Ischel.
Yeah.
So minus 2K? And 6.
But no, Alexis just read the situation correctly and just knows that. Oh,
No, he's going to do it because he wants to keep the resort. That was it, the temptation of the resort.
Yeah, I'm at 6.
but he has. Oh, this is interesting because he has quick fix in hand. So next turn he had access to double helix, anyways, and then he could have got, and that could have just led to the resort.
Public events will start up tomorrow at 9 a.m.
Because Alexis knows that.
Again, at this time, public events are now closed. And
Alexis knew the next 3 cards.
Yep.
So it's interesting that he decided to go with that line of play.
And that was Spyral Mission Rescue, right? So you can just start getting a card back from the graveyard each turn.
Yep. Here I would more than likely return the leave drone in the graveyard. Oh, he wants to put back drone.
It's back drone.
I just feel that because he already has quick fix and he also has access to the resort, that he might want to leave drone in the grave, because if he gets rid of resort, he can just quick fix big red back into drone, double helix combo off from there. But then this way, if he gets rid of the resort, if let's say Eduardo somehow clears the resort this turn, then the quick fix will search big red and he'll have to go into.
Oh, that's not Ischel, that's Amdisk.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it is Amdisk. Oh, so he
That's
adds
Amdisk.
back banishment.
No, yeah.
Ah. I had thought that was Ischel, but in fact it was a unicorn.
Interesting.
Things
So
are-
because he gave him that extra draw, it allowed him to do that.
Yeah, things are going to get a lot more interesting. Especially he has Ukabak as well. Oh.
I don't think that Alexis fully read the card. So if he fully read the card, then he might not have,
He
get
did.
the additional.
There's too much
summon.
text on those 3 cards that he revealed to have read them succinctly in the amount of time.
So he might not have, because then he wouldn't have given the extra draw, because he knows he would have had fuel for that card to discard and grab back from the grave. So, yep, Superbia gets a special bag, and then he starts getting the cycle off.
There's Ischel.
Yep, pay
Now-
1,000 to copy.
Now the interesting thing with Superbia is that you don't have to special summon in defense position with it. That's just
Mm-hmm.
contact.
Yep.
And now he gets a copy of either contact or banishment.
So let's see how Eduardo plays this out. There could be a play where Eduardo maybe gets the Superbia back in the grave, and then he uses Eggshell to copy the contact, and
Get
then
it back again.
recycle again.
He's now going to send a Dark Lord card to the graveyard.
This could be where the Proxy Dragon actually comes in,
Mm.
because he can make Proxy Dragon with the Ukobak and the Superbia, copy it, and then
bring it back
bring it
again.
back with contact, and then he can make another card from the extra deck.
Yeah.
Interesting.
He's got to get it into the main monster zone, though. His Proxy Dragon is only sideways.
Yeah.
I guess if he took the, if he takes the double helix, he could do it that way. Goes for banishment. Banishment's going to get back, get a contact. Or rather, contact's going to get Amdisk. And all these monsters are mismatched levels. Shell's 10, Superbi's 8, Ukabak 3, and Amdisk 6.
So he just under battle phase and deal some damage?
That's 700 more.
Yeah, 700 more. So you're from.
Did he have evenly matched? Is that the trap he said? I thought it was a mission.
It is a mission, I believe.
Last game was evenly matched.
Last game was evenly
Okay.
matched, correct.
Gets back Super Agent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this isn't looking so good for Eduardo.
He still has a enchantment in the graveyard, doesn't he?
Yep,
So he
and
can
they're
just
quick
steal
effects,
something.
correct, right?
They are.
Yeah. So he has to bait that out first.
And he's reading the enchantment. Enchantment's a hard card to bait. Actually, he has two.
Oh, and he also has, okay.
Is that two enchantments?
Yes. Or is it one enchantment and one rebellion?
Either combination is pretty good here. He's just going to watch out that the clock doesn't run down
So
while Alexis is reading all the cards.
Alexis notices that it'll be a quick effect, so...
And it doesn't target.
Mm-hmm.
So no protection from Resort. I don't know. The double summon helps here?
Gives him an extra monster to bait out the potential traps. I feel like it's one of the better draws that he could have gotten.
Yeah. And indeed, time does run out. So that's a little rough for Eduardo because he has to pay 1,000 for each of these.
Just going to start with tough.
And I think he might just take tough here immediately without letting him call.
I don't think I would. I would take it immediately because he knows he has Super Agent in
Yeah,
hand.
because he got it back.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, interesting line.
Yeah, he's going to lose his X-Shell for essentially no reason. But he was wrong, so he gets to keep his shell. Ooh,
That was a risky
Eduardo
gamble from Eduardo.
really dodged a bullet right there.
Yep.
But that's the kind of gamble that you have to make and win if you want to win a YCS.
I don't think the gamble there was worth taking, though. Because he knows he has Super Agent.
Yep.
He also knows he has Quick Fix.
And
So you can-
Yeah, there you go.
Yep.
Got to play the double summon first.
That should search Big Red. But the next card for Eduardo is really good. Lot of Desires.
Desires.
Here you take it immediately, right?
Yep.
And then he has the other trap card in the grave to stop the Spyral Agent and Big Red.
Yep. And here's a rules thing that is pretty good to know here. So, Dark Lord Enchantment says you can only activate one Dark Lord Enchantment per turn.
I'm activating the monster effect.
So, let's take a look at Ix Shell
Copies the effect.
and take a look. This is what he's explaining right now.
There's only once per turn.
You can only activate one Dark Lord Enchantment per turn.
But then if it's copying the effects, it doesn't count towards
That's right.
that.
You're not
Yes.
activating it. You're activating the monster effect, and it's applying the card that you targeted's effect instead. Because you're only applying the effect, you also get to skip the cost. You don't have to send a monster to the graveyard.
It becomes Dark Lord Ixchel's effect,
Mhm.
not necessarily the Dark Lord enchantment. Now, is it another enchantment that he has in the
Yeah,
grave?
it's another enchantment, but he
So-
can't use it. He's got 5 monsters.
Can he not send one of his own first?
He doesn't pay, or he
Oh,
doesn't.
you're right.
He doesn't pay the cost.
You are right. So he can't even. That might have been a little misstep, but was there a way to play around that? Maybe if he crashed Uko back,
He may have needed to crash
Yeah.
it back.
because now Alexis actually gets to combo off.
It's still not. He knew it wasn't a monster, and he called monster anyway. Seems like he just wasted Super Agent's effect.
Called monster?
He called monster.
Wow,
But he knew it wasn't a monster.
interesting. It's just the nerves.
Yeah,
of
it
maybe
has to
being on
be.
stream. Yeah.
Especially because they're in time now.
Mm-hmm. So here is he out of a mission? Oh, he doesn't have a target.
No mission. Does he have another resort even?
I feel like he has another resort.
Yeah, I've only seen 2. Let's play assault. Strong mission assault. No, he plays
plays
triple
2.
rescue.
Okay.
Triple rescue. It was all 3.
The way he shuffled his deck, I thought he might have potentially sided them out. So, but okay, that would have been really bad if he did not have a mission here to search.
Master Plan has ruined a lot of plans lately, normally by being drawn in the opening hand.
But if your hand's good enough, you can navigate through that. It's could be a little misstep for putting the quick fix there.
Is now to the right, arrows to the left.
Or you'd probably make Deco Talker.
Yeah, I'm still looking for how he's winning this game. Is he going for 4 and just bore loading? No, it is Deco Talker.
I think he's going to go for the sleeper.
Okay. He gets a monster and a resort.
He could have had a really bigger board if he called correctly with the super agent.
Oh, and that Deco Talker is pretty big.
Yep.
It's pointing at 2 monsters.
Yeah, if he had the super agent, could have extended his plays a lot more. So he's banishing 3 for sleeper.
And he's got
Flipping
last resort.
And he gets the Spyral Helix back at the end of the turn. Yeah, so the misstep from not cashing the
Not the Ukabok.
go back in cost Wardle this, unfortunately.
It's going to take a lot of damage, too.
Yeah. But he does draw a Pot of Desire, so I could get him out of it. So he's banishing the trap card to get back tough. There was a play where like maybe Alexis could have ended with Baguska at the end of this to guarantee that nothing that Eduardo could have actually drawn.
He's got to be
make a
really
play.
careful here, because if he destroys something without using the spiral effect, bad things could happen to his field.
Yeah.
Brings back Quick Fix again, retrieves drone.
Mm-hmm.
And now the Deco Talker is fully powered, 3,300. Or rather, 3,800.
I'm at 5K, you're at 67. You paid, remember? To use it if I could take over my agent Helix? Yeah.
Oh, 4. Okay. My bad. My bad.
Clarifying life points by the duelist.
Yeah, there are a lot of changes when you're playing Dark Lords. Maybe not as much as Trick Stars, where you're changing 10 times a turn. Ah, he sends it. Going to attack directly with the sleeper. That's good. Deco Talker's going to get him through Ukabak.
And attack for game with the... Wow.
But he's not going to be able to attack the rest of his monsters. Hang on. Really? I thought you could not attack with the rest of your monsters when you use Last Resort. I could be wrong, though.
We could pull it up on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Alexis takes
Oh,
his
yeah, now the
turn.
equipped monster can attack directly this turn.
Mm-hmm. So Alexis takes the win, 2-1. Just a little misstep from Eduardo.
Yeah, there are a lot of hiccups here and
Yeah.
there, but that's going to happen when... And basically it's going to happen in matchups like this where you're playing something that you don't really see a lot of mainstream play of
Mm-hmm.
against something that never has had to deal with this deck before because it was released a year later,
Mm-hmm.
or became a thing a year later. So two decks that never really existed in the same era wind up coexisting here at YCS San Diego.
Yep.